actually it's not only the Israeli war crimes, perpetrators that we're trying to put into the dock, it's the international community as well. It's always hard to be one of the last speakers, because a lot of things have already been said. I'll start by reminding you of a few recent events that happened in Israel. 3 days ago, Netanyahu announced that it will never share Jerusalem, and Israel will never go back to the 67 borders. Which means that from now on, every time you hear peace process or peace negotiations, you can switch the TV off. Recently as well, Israel has agreed to a 10 months freeze of the settlements. But if you read the media and Haaretz, for example, you can, every week pretty much, there's new buildings being built in East Jerusalem, in the West Bank. So it's all recently as well, Israel has killed 3 unarmed members of the Palestinian resistance in Nablus. Nablus is in Area A, which is normally under full Palestinian Authority control. And killing unarmed civilians is also a war crime. It's called targeted assassinations. Israel also now imprisoned peace activists. 2 peace activists who stopped the war, Jamal Juma and Mohammed Othman, were imprisoned. But yesterday, Jamal Juma was released, but Mohammed is still in jail. Abdallah Abu Rameh from Bilaim is also still in jail, as well as about 9,000 or 10,000 Palestinian political prisoners. So I think our government should actually, and the PA as well, should call for the release of those 10,000 political prisoners, and shouldn't accept to have 100 prisoners released every 10 years. Those political prisoners have got nothing to do in Israeli jails. Last thing I want to say, Israel has bombed Gaza bits a year ago, but the bombing continues on a weekly basis. Recently, 2 Gazans were killed, I think, last week as well. And so it's really continuing. It's not something that happens once in a while. It's every day, every week, it goes on and on. So what the international community, the so-called international community does, I say so-called because the international community at the moment is everyone sort of following the US. And the international community, I mean, the EU issues statements, that's it. The US issues vetoes, that's it. Egypt built a metal wall that is actually, that was designed in Israel and is being built in the States. And Egypt as well attacks aid convoy, like the Viva Palestina convoy, Gaza Freedom March, etc. David Miliband wants to change, I mean, it's been said before, wants to change the law on universal jurisdiction. And David Cameron recently said at the Conservative Friends of Israel annual dinner, the belief I have in Israel is indestructible, and you need to know that if I become Prime Minister, Israel as a friend will never turn his back on Israel. It seems like the only support Cameron ever gives to the Palestinians is when he goes for a meal at Cafe Marania on Golden Road in London. So I think that it really leaves only us, the people, to actually support and support the Palestinians, and that's where the tribunal comes. We really think that for the people to act and to be spurred into action, there's a very deep education process that has to be done. We know the media, corporate media, does not his job and does not educate people, so it's down to us to educate the people. It's down to us to join more Viva Palestinas, more free Gaza movement, more Gaza Freedom March, and it's down to us to, not remain silent and stand in solidarity with the Palestinians. So, to talk briefly about the tribunal itself, we think that to educate the people, but to also have a credibility, we need to be based on international law, and we need to work with the best legal minds available. So that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years. Really, the best lawyers around in the UK are working with us. Phil Shiner, Daniel Nakova, Paul Troop, etc. And it's the same all around Europe where we've established national committees that support the initiative. So we've got two events coming, actually one big event coming in Barcelona, which is the first international session of the Russell Tribunal that will focus on EU and its member states' complicities and responsibilities in Israel and Palestine. We need everyone's support, and we intend to have a strong UK delegation to attend the Barcelona session that will take place from the 1st to the 3rd of March. So media people, MPs, activists, we need everyone down in Barcelona in March. The next session will be in London, and once more we need everyone's support to make this the best session as possible. We need support of charities, of NGOs, and of every activist as possible. So if you want to get in touch, we've got a website, Tribunal.com, we've got a Facebook group, and I've got 5 business cards that I can give to 5 people.
What about the military recruiting?
So I'll conclude by saying that we really hope that once properly informed, the public will be spurred into action, and we hope that the public will understand that what's happening in Palestine concerns us all. It's not about Palestine, it's about us as human civilization. So we hope that we can build a better future by staying in solidarity with the Palestinians. Thank you.